G'day guys, welcome back. This week's video, we get this engine off to the machine shop. Next up we install a Walbro 460 in the tank. And lastly, we've got a bit of a combination change. You might want to hang in for that. Alrighty, let's get it underway. Okay, so we're probably up to this stage of the car build. It's probably time to get this motor off and built. Or rebuilt, should I say. So I'll get some parts stripped off it, we'll get it loaded up and we'll get it out of here. Alright, let's do it. Rightio, so we've got the big RB30 all stripped down. There's really not much left on it. You're sending an engine in for machine work or rebuilding, it's always pays just to strip all the accessories off. I mean, it's only going to make your build cheaper. The less time they've got to work pulling bits and pieces off it, the cheaper your bill will be. So let's get this loaded up, let's get it off to the shop. Alright guys, so we're going to install the Walbro 460 into our VL fuel tank. There's a couple of things required, but we'll go through them. Yeah, let's get it underway. Alright, now VLs have like a built-in little swirl pot inside the fuel tank. So to keep all the pump and that sitting where it should, you can't go any deeper than what this factory pump is, otherwise it's not going to fit correctly. So just take note of where it sits. So obviously missing the bag. So we're going to remove this, but you can see where it sits. So you can see the size difference between the two pumps. All right. we've got the pump all in there. It's all been trimmed back to suit. It's exactly the same depth as the other pump. This bit caught me out once before with the wiring. Now, if you have a look up here, red is on the top side, white is on the bottom side, black is on the top side, and the brown wire is on the bottom side. Now, I've been caught out before where I've done this and then soldered them all up, put them in the tank, and the bloody pump goes backwards. So just be mindful of that. So red to black here, black to white, brown, whatever you want to call it, down here. Okay, so with the wiring soldered, the pump installation's complete. Now, it always pays to test this in a bucket of fuel before you put it back in the car, just to save you the heartache of putting it in and emptying the fuel, because fuel up the armpits is always really, really good. So I'll test this now, and if it's all good, I'll slide it back in the car. Okay, so as you can see, the big boogie's gone. Replaced with a Garrett 3582. Pretty sure that's what they call them. It's off a BA Falcon. Now, manifold and turbo come off a Mates VL that made 375 on 98 fuel. Just had a cam in it, 17 PSI, and made pretty respectable power. That's through a Trimatic as well. It's a standard turbo. It just has a 106, I think it is, rear turbine, V-banded. So obviously no internal gate crap on the side. Bit agriculture on the welding, but at the end of the day, it did work. It did seal, it worked perfectly fine on his car. I'll just give it maybe re-weld it, whatever, TIG over it. He kept his wastegate. He had a 45mm Turbo Smart, one of the big old school UFO things that sits like this high that you almost need to clearance the bonnet so it sits through. Nah, jokes. But I'll put a photo here. I've never actually seen one before. I think it's a bit before my time. Maybe when I first gen freaking Turbo Smarts or something. But yeah, so new manifold and gate. And the lovely Rajab intake. Now, I really like these intake manifolds. Back in 2005 when I first had this car, these were the shit. All the cool kids have one, so I've got to have one. So we've got an AU Falcon throttle body here, TPS IAC built in, which is a good thing because I'd like to run the aircon back on this car. I think that'd be pretty cool. It's got a bit of an odd shaped throttle body. It's like an oval, it's not round. I don't know why they did it that way, but they did. But basically you weld a bit of it, you cut these off here, weld a bit of an elbow on it, and that keeps the battery in the engine bay, which is another win. So happy with that. This actually isn't this is just our mock engine. The other engine's still not finished yet. Shouldn't be too far away. Combination inside the motor is going to remain the same. Big turbo cam, head studs, gasket, and turbo pump, all the jazz. Nothing too crazy. So if we can squeeze this setup to make 400 on 98, I think that's pretty achievable now. After seeing what everyone else makes, I think 400 on 98 is not an overly big stretch for this car. Yeah, so that's our new setup. So I'll end this video here. Next video, we'll knock all this manifold off and we'll get to painting. Plan is for the engine to be completely black. Thinking of thermal coating the exhaust manifold so it stays that satin black color. And the rest of it will be paint. Underside on the rocker cover, I mean VL Turbo's always had a red rocker cover, everyone knows them for it, but I do like black, so I've got another cover. We'll wrinkle coat that red, and when the time's right we'll try them both in the car and see what works. My money's on the black's gonna look bomb, but we'll see what happens. All right, I'll catch you on another episode.